It's time for Home Team Help, presented by Lowe's. Thanks to our sponsors at Lowe's who help improve our homes in a number of ways. We're going to talk about Seahawks and Cardinals in this one. Low-scoring affair. Had a pick six, 16-6. Seattle gets the hard-fought NFC West win. And let's start with a comment here from Frank Knowles. We'll give Frank Knowles the floor. He goes, damn okay nomination for Leonard Williams. Guy ate up the Cardinals' O-line today. He had 2.5 sacks, 4 quarterback hits, 6 tackles, 1 pass defense.
I think that this is the thing that I tried to say to some people throughout the week. This is why I picked Seattle to win this football game. And our man here is, I think, spot on, and Frank Knowles. Leonard Williams, overall big picture thing is what I'm saying is the front seven for the Seattle Seahawks is healthy. I think we talked about this on Wednesday a little bit, or maybe last week. Yeah. But it's an impressive group when they're healthy. When you talk about Draymond Jones, Jerron Reed, Byron Murphy, first round pick, Leonard Williams to go along with that, the kid Hall, who's a second round or the second year kid from Auburn coming off the edge. Yeah, exactly right. Thank you for saving me there. They got a little depth behind that. It looks like the secondary is starting to figure out how to play in the Mike McDonald scheme, right? I think there's a lot of things here that are starting to look positive for Seattle. Their offense is still a little bit all over the place, but I think their defense is about to be a force to be reckoned with, which is kind of shocking. But because there was like 5 weeks ago, it was a little bit like, man, I'm disappointed in their defense, and it just doesn't look like it's going to quite turn the corner this year. But they got healthy, and it has turned the corner. This was a D-struggle football game. I mean, there was nothing to talk about for a long time. Cardinals put together an ugly field goal drive with a big throw to Trey McBride. I think there was 2 throws to Trey McBride on the drive. But then Seattle finally kind of woke up on the offensive side of the ball, and as usual, what was it? Oh, it's a big pass by Geno. That's really what it ends up being that usually sparks the football team, and lately the go-to guy's been Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think he gets 2 big passes to Jackson Smith and Jigba to set up a touchdown drive, and then the moment came, the game-changing moment. It's 7-3 Seahawks. The Cardinals are kind of driving the ball past midfield, kind of like fringe, like, oh, we can't kick a field goal or do that yet, so we got to go for it. It's 4th and 1. Kyler keeps the ball on a bootleg to the right. They've covered it well. I understand what he's thinking. He's getting on the side. He's going, it's 4th and 1. Let me give my guy a chance. I think he's got Wilson, who's kind of maybe got a spot to catch the ball, but he's got somebody that's kind of all over him. He misses the throw and overthrows him. He's not like he's open. Don't get me wrong here. But then Kobe Durant catches it.
Kobe
Bryant. Sorry.
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. I don't know what I was thinking. But he catches the ball, and this is the problem with now making this throw on the sidelines as you're going out of bounds. The defense catches it. There's nobody there to tackle the guy. And he went out of bounds because of the momentum, and Kobe Bryant just went right up the field for basically a 70-yard pick six. Now, it was 69 yards.
Now, if Mike McDonald can prove himself as an old-school coach, though, if he fines Kobe Bryant for not knocking that down, it was 4th down. You knock that down. You don't catch that.
I hear you. But it wasn't far enough down the field. Yeah. And I would love to know, too, did Kobe realize, like, whoa, I got green grass in front of me here, so I do catch this? Because your point's real. That's usually what's talked about in those situations. Yeah. But I think the fact that it was probably only like a 6 or 7 yard throw, right, down the field, that's probably why he does that. Now, don't get me wrong. Now the Seattle Seahawks have a chance to go down and control the football game, and they're inside the 20-yard line. And Geno Smith threw he's good for 1 a week right now, the dumbest interception in the end zone, and kind of let Seattle hang around the football game. And they went down and got a field goal, and then it was a 1-score, 13-6 football game forever. Seattle finally put them away. My point being is I still like Arizona. I think they're going to have games that are going to look like this. When Arizona can't run the ball, this goes back to what we said early in the year. They don't have enough speed at receiver, I think, to separate against the Reek Woolens, the Devin Witherspoons of the world sometimes. And they played pretty good man-to-man defense, it looked like today. And then without them being able to run the ball in that front seven of Seattle, you saw their offense struggle a little bit.
Yeah, Kyler Murray has his guy, and we've known that for a while. Yeah. It's not Marvin Harrison. It's not Wilson, although he had a great catch in this one. It was Trey McBride.
It's Trey McBride.
15 targets, caught 12 of them for 133 yards.
Lives over the middle of the field. It's one crosser after another, in-cut crosser, and then when you start to play that a little too much, all of a sudden he breaks out on like a flag route and gets like a 12 or 13-yard gain there. But he's a hell of a player. He's one of the best pass-catching tight ends in football. But I still think it kind of – and that's what fits again. Oh, they play man-to-man. Well, him against linebackers and safeties, that's pretty good. Marvin Harrison against Reek Witherspoon, right? Or Reek Woolen. Oh, he's tall just like him. Oh, and he's significantly faster. Those are the days that you worry about. Will we see Marvin Harrison have an effect in the game as much as we'd like? I hope so going forward.
So Cardinals had it rolling until this game. That 4-game win streak is over. Martin Lawrence has a question for you.
Yeah.
Are the Cardinals a legitimate divisional winner prospect, or have they overachieved early in the season and now they might be about to level out?
Well, like, this is where we have to clarify things, right? What is a legitimate winner prospect? Are we calling Houston with their 7-5 and they look like crap for the last 6 weeks the legitimate winner prospect, right? Are we calling one of the teams from the NFC South who have all looked like crap basically for the last month until the Buccaneers today?
Yeah.
Are any of them legitimate winners?
So here you go. Hey, Martin Lawrence, you are as good as some of the teams that have been crappy and are leading their division.
Your division's wide open is what the point is. So that's where it's like, no, do I think you're one of the more quality football teams in all the league? No, I don't. I think you're a fringe playoff football team that has some things that I really like about it. But as we've talked about, they're a classic team of like, they got the meat and potatoes. They need sizzle now. And that's why I was saying at the trade deadline, don't trade. You're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. Wait till this year's over. Cash in the chips. You're going to have a ton of money to spend in free agency. They got a ton of draft picks again. And they can build a team that's like, oh, wow, we have one of the more talented teams in football for the next 5 or 6 years. And I'm glad they didn't chase dreams this year. But no, they are what they are right now. That's where we're at. Me and Ahmed for 2 weeks in a row, right? You are who you are for the most part. Yep. There's only like 2 teams out there that are kind of like, oh, they could actually be more than what they are. Yeah. Everybody else is like kind of this is where we are.
You are who you are.
We are who we are type of part of the year.
Who am I? You are.
You are.
Who you are.
Who you are.
And then who am I?
Yeah.
Who you are.
They're a physical running football team who can make some splash plays at time because they have a quarterback that's super explosive and they have a good offensive coordinator in Petzing who can get some people open. But there's going to be certain days where, like this game at the Chargers game, where they're going to go, it's ugly. They won the Chargers game in a defensive battle. They lost this one today, but some of that was because of self-inflicted wounds, missed field goals, stupid penalties, and bad turnovers.
I mean, they could use a guy like I don't know, like a shifty, like a Malik Neighbors or like a Brian Thomas guy or something.
Well, that's
like
what
that.
Well, you're funny. I like all the guys they got, but no, that's the next step though. They need a guy like that. A guy that can be speed sweep, reverse guy, can go catch a slant and go for 70 yards, right? Because they got everything else on their football team. That's for sure. And I think they are building something pretty impressive there.
All right, but congrats to the Seahawks for getting the win. And thanks to Lowe's. That was Lowe's Home Team Help.
Yo, homies, thanks for watching. Yeah, it's time. The NFL season is here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
You can hit subscribe to get all the weekly picks, plus our Sunday recaps as the games are happening.
Oh, you know it. Nobody does that better than us. Thanks again for watching. Remember to subscribe. Peace out. We'll see you next time on Unbuttoned.